Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Tuesday, the 1st of August. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Ashwin Berry. In the news tonight, as part of its efforts to improve economic and financial reporting in the country, the Bank of Namibia today began hosting its second annual economic reporting workshop at its Oshakati branch. The two-day workshop ends on Wednesday. The workshop is being organized by the bank as part of its efforts to enhance the capacity of journalists to report accurately and effectively on economic issues. The workshop will cover a range of topics related to central banking and economic reporting, including an overview of the role of the Bank of Namibia in the economy, the monetary policy framework, financial stability, and the challenges and opportunities facing the economy. Former Windhoek Mayor Job Mopanda has told the Justice for Animals Association that he will defend his culture, food and viewpoints the way he sees fit after the association announced that it is coming for him. In a statement released yesterday by the association, it announced that after a thorough examination, it unveiled a remarkable fact that brings a new ray of hope in its battle against animal cruelty. According to them, the only notice ever issued in terms of the Animals Protection Act 71 of 1962 was on 14 July 1972. This prohibits the killing of dogs for the purpose of commercial utilization of their skin, meat, or any other body parts. In clear terms, any person who kills a dog with the intention of using the skin or meat or any other part of such dog for commercial purposes acts in contravention of the notice, is guilty of a criminal offense, and is liable on conviction to a fine or imprisonment of up to 6 months or both, the statement stated. The group's threat comes after a video of Mopanda seemingly eating and buying dog meat went viral on social media recently. In the video, the AR activist can be heard saying dog meat is the best in the country and continues to order a larger portion worth $100 Namibian from a local vendor. In the wake of the United Kingdom's recent implementation of a visa requirement for Namibian passport holders, the UK government has introduced voluntary return services for Namibian nationals residing in the country. The move comes as a part of the UK's efforts to address the implications of the new visa regulation, which took effect on the 1st of August 2023. The new visa requirement, announced by the UK government on July 19 this year, aims to protect the UK's borders and ensure the legitimacy of visitors. The High Commission of the Republic of Namibia received the official communication from the UK Home Office stating its readiness to provide voluntary return services for Namibian nationals residing in the UK without legal immigration status or the rights to remain. The voluntary return service offers a dignified and compassionate option for Namibian nationals who may wish to return to their homeland voluntarily. Services include assistance in departure planning, facilitating travel document acquisition, covering return flight costs, and providing reintegration packages of up to £3,000, which is approximately 58,833.79 Namibian dollars per person. Namibian High Commissioner to the UK, Linda Scott, clarified this is not a Namibian program. It is a UK program. We are simply putting it out there for those who wish to return, as we do know of some inquiries of this nature. As such, the UK government has pledged to cover the costs associated with the voluntary return services. The 9-year-old Cecil Quartz Jr. was one of the first people ever to get Namibian colors in motorsport. Derek Jacobs, the Secretary General of the Namibia Motorsport Federation, explains that Cecil was a member of the Namibian team that participated in the Rotax Africa Cup, where he obtained his national colors. Irene Marie van der Walt reports.
Die 9-jarige Cecil Quartz Jr. was onlangs een van die eerstes ooit om Namibiese klere te ontvang vir motorsport. Dit na hy deelgeneem het aan die Rotax Afrika Weeker en al die Namibiese deelnemers wat daar deelgeneem het, toe nou op die ou en Namibiese klere ontvang het. So Cecil is ook tans voor in die punte in die renstelresies. En hy was so 2 jaar terug was hy die wenner van die Bambinos afdeling in die renstelresies en laas jaar het hy tweede gekom in die Micromax afdeling, maar sy pa Cecil Quartz Senior verduidelik hy was gelykop in die punte na die semifinaal en het toe besluit om nie aan die finale deel te neem sodat hy in Abu Dhabi by die Yas Marina baan die Formule 1 kan gaan kyk. So Cecil, as jy nog nie agtergekom het, is 'n baie groot aanhanger van Formule 1, veral die Formule 1 renjaer Lewis Hamilton wat onlangs besoek afgelê het aan Namibië. En sy pa verduidelik dat Cecil baie naby, maar tog baie ver was van Lewis Hamilton. Hy verduidelik, hulle was op 'n vliegtuig op pad Kaap toe om te gaan deelneem aan 'n renstelkompetisie en dat Lewis Hamilton se vliegtuig toe langs hulle was en hulle het gekyk hoe Lewis Hamilton van die vliegtuig afklim, maar klein Sissel kon toe nou nie of jong Sissel kon toe nou nie van die vliegtuig afklim en sy held gaan ontmoet nie. Maar totdat hy die dag sy held ontmoet, vereer hy sy held in ander maniere. Hy gebruik ook Lewis Hamilton se nommer 44 in die renstel kampioenskappe. So Sissel sal ook later in die jaar in Italië in Lonato del Garda gaan deelneem aan die Rockbeker finaal. Dit nadat sy pa verduidelik hy wou laas jaar deelgeneem het aan die Rockbeker finaal, maar dat hulle nie kon nie omdat jy minstens 9 jaar oud moet wees om deel te neem. En Sissel toe nog 8 jaar oud was en eers 3 dae na die finaal sou hy 9 word. So lees meer in Môre se Republikein.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. After the break, NIPDB CEO Nangula Uwanja says comments made by President Hage Geingob last year may have been misunderstood. Stay with us.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 150.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Let's get into the story of the day. NIPDB CEO Nangula Uwanja says comments made by President Hage Geingob last year about Namibia's oil resources that were discovered not belonging to Namibia were taken out of context, adding that it shows the seriousness of Namibians to own the country's mineral and natural resources, Ohone Klage reports.
About oil and gas, I know that there was a very topical matter, I don't know if it was last year, when His Excellency said the oil is not ours, and we all were up in arms, the oil is ours. And I find it interesting sometimes when I think that Namibians, then sometimes we don't even have a sense of humor. Of course, the president, he's the one who wrote the constitution. He's the one who chaired the Constituent Assembly that wrote the constitution, and which says that all minerals and all assets that are minerals, oil and so forth, whether they are in the ocean, whether they are under the ground, whether they are on the ground, they belong to the Namibian government and they belong to the Namibian people. He knows that, and therefore for us to make a huge story about that one, it was quite interesting. So then what does that tell us? It tells us oil is not a matter of a joke. You see, we are not even laughing. So, okay, so it's a serious business. So oil and gas is a serious business. Let us come to the serious business. So there are definitely many questions to ask. So do we have sufficient oil? Will it be produced? When can it be produced? Somebody asked me a question recently and saying, can government accelerate the production of oil and gas? So many questions, so few answers, because maybe the answers are not with one person, they are in all of us. And I think that is why we were excited as the NIPDB when the Economic Association said, this year we would like our topic to be oil and gas. Are you with us again like you were with us last year?
We'll be looking at the most recent Nampa demonstration as we head into community news after the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
In community talk, the employees at the Namibia Press Agency had a peaceful demonstration earlier today and petitioned for handover, citing unfair working conditions at the agency and victimization of employees from the board and management. According to the employees, they will only hand over the petition to the board chairperson and not the CEO, Linus Chata. We have given her enough time, they said. Elizabeth Joseph reports.
Down to no fair internal promotion, down! Down! Down to the CEO running a state entity under dictatorship rule, down! Down! Down to management negotiating in bad faith, down! Down! Down to grievances from employees being seen as a threat, down! Down! Leadership is not authority or power. Leadership is the ability to influence, inspire, and guide. We say down to instilling fear, down! Down! We say down to creating a toxic working environment, down! Down! We say down to policies applied according to face value, down! Down! We say down to victimizing employees, down! Down!
Namibia's export earnings averaged 8.6 billion Namibian dollars in the first half of 2023. We'll be looking at that as we head into economic news after the break.
To another exciting episode of Irongo Talk. We bring jou die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis julle monster gaan byt.
Namibia's export earnings averaged 8.6 billion Namibian dollars in the first half of 2023, while the import bill averaged 10.5 billion Namibian dollars, according to the Namibia Statistics Agency. This led to an average trade deficit of 1.9 billion Namibian dollars in the first 6 months of 2023. In June specifically, goods worth 8.7 billion Namibian dollars were exported to international markets, a decline when compared to 9.2 billion recorded in May. In addition, Namibia's import bill came in at 10.1 billion Namibian dollars in June, compared to 12 billion Namibian dollars recorded in May. Let's have a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.26 next to the US dollar, with 23.24 Namibian dollars getting you 1 British pound. Looking at commodities, copper managed an uptick, whilst gold, platinum and Brent crude oil all made some downturns. The EU is not planning to formally evacuate its staff from Niger, although they are free to leave. Stay with us as we head into international news shortly.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
The EU is not planning to formally evacuate its staff from Niger, though they are free to leave, a Commission spokesperson said earlier today, adding that they would keep the situation under review. France announced that it would evacuate French and European citizens from Niger starting on Tuesday. That came after supporters of the junta burned French flags and attacked the French embassy in Niger's capital, Niamey. Also earlier today, the Commission said there were no immediate risks to nuclear power production in Europe should Niger cut its deliveries of uranium.
Nabila, just to follow up on the question of evacuation, it's a volatile situation, so why not take a formal?
Of course, we take the safety of the citizens and our personnel very, very seriously, and we follow the situation. What I said is that for the moment, at this stage, we are making a decision that the people not to formally evacuate, but of course our team present in Niamey has the possibility to leave the country. And of course, we are following the situation. This means that the decision will be kept constantly under review.
Confirm that there is no supply risk as such when it comes to the EU. EU utilities have sufficient inventories of natural uranium to mitigate any short-term supply risks, and for the medium and long term, there are enough deposits on the world market to cover the EU needs. That is something that we have ascertained.
Looking at our other international news story, demonstrators took to the streets of Dakar yesterday as one of the key opposition figures, Ousmane Sonko, was remanded in custody on charges including plotting and insurrection. Sonko denies wrongdoing. Small sporadic groups of protesters clashed with police who fired tear gas. The country's interior minister said it had dissolved Sonko's party for rallying supporters into stoking violence during protests last month. It was the latest move in the long-running tussle between President Macky Sall's ruling party and Sonko's PASTEF. Sonko's supporters accuse Sall of trumping up charges to sideline his popular opponent ahead of an election in February.
Demonstrators took to the streets of Dakar on Monday as one of the key opposition figures, Ousmane Sonko, was remanded in custody on charges including plotting and insurrection. Sonko denies wrongdoing. Small sporadic groups of protesters clashed with police who fired tear gas. The country's interior minister said it had dissolved Sonko's party for rallying supporters into stoking violence during protests last month. It was the latest move in the long-running tussle between President Macky Sall's ruling party and Sonko's PASTEF. Sonko's supporters accused Sall of trumping up charges to sideline his popular opponent ahead of an election in February. It is the first time a party has been banned since Senegal gained independence from France in 1960. The government also restricted internet access due to the spread of, quote, hateful and subversive messages on social media. Sonko was detained last week following a scuffle with security forces stationed outside his home in Dakar. It is not clear if Sonko will remain in jail or when a trial will begin. Violent riots erupted across the country in June, and at least 16 people were killed after Sonko was handed a separate 2-year prison sentence for immoral behavior towards people younger than 21. At the time, he called for protesters to take to the streets.
Stay with us as we return with the weather predictions.
Namibians are still safe.
Everywhere else, the Supreme Court said we are not going to rely on foreign judgments.
By all means, we try to not make journalists public figures, but at the end of the day, they are.
Very good evening. My name is Tewan Jabela, your host.
With their Protestant offsprings.
But the implementation, like she's saying, is another thing.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. As promised, let's head into the weather predictions. Katima, Mulilo, Rundu and Nana can expect 12, 6 and 9 degree minimums whilst it's sunny across the board. Windhoek, however, much colder, 5 degree minimum expected. Henties Bay expects windy conditions with a 31 degree maximum whilst it's partly cloudy in Luderitz and Oranjemund. Certainly hope folks in Rehoboth are keeping warm. 3 degree minimum cannot be easy to get through. Stay with us as we come back with the sports.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
All right, Brian is waiting for us at the Sports Wrap desk as he brings us the sports news.
Well, good evening, viewers. On Sunset News, brought to you by Sportswrap, we have a blow-ass Namibia scrum of Alarius Kisting, who will be out of action for at least 6 weeks after suffering a right forearm fracture just before halftime in the team's opening match of the South American Tour against Argentina last Saturday. Head coach Alistair Coetzee said it's very unfortunate, and you'll feel for Hilarius, who has worked hard to earn the starting bid position. It's part of rugby, and we are hoping for a quick recovery. Hopefully he will make it back in time for the Rugby World Cup. Well, Paris Saint-Germain winger Ousmane Dembele and PSG have reached an agreement for a 5-season contract and a gross annual salary of 20 million euros plus bonuses, while at the same time Brazil midfielder Fabinho has signed a 3-year deal with a Saudi Arabian side Al Ittihad after completing his move from Liverpool yesterday. That was. Well, lastly we have Lavras Uis, who departed for Istanbul, Turkey, where he will compete in the Under-17 World Wrestling Championships. You can see him there in the red shirt. On my right side, Uis will show his mettle in the 92-kilogram division in both Greco-Roman and the freestyle competitions as well. Well, that's all we have for you from the sports desk, and from us it is goodbye.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Your highlights from this evening's broadcast follow after the break.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the
15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. In our first broadcast for the month of August, we certainly hope that you're ready for the August winds, particularly if you're in Windhoek, which is literally named after wind. Let's get into the highlights from this evening's broadcast. Former Windhoek Mayor Job Amupanda has told the Justice for Animals Association that he will defend his culture, food and viewpoints the way he sees fit after the association announced that it is coming for him. In the wake of the United Kingdom's recent implementation of a visa requirement for Namibian passport holders, the UK government has introduced voluntary return services for Namibian nationals residing in the country. And Namibia's scrum half Hilarius Kisting will be out of action for at least 6 weeks after suffering a right forearm fracture just before halftime in the team's opening match for their South America tour against Argentina last Saturday. Head coach Alistair Coetzee said it's very unfortunate and you feel for Hilarius, who has worked hard to earn the starting bid position. It's part of rugby and we are hoping for a quick recovery. I know it's a race against time, but I am positive that he can still play a role in the upcoming Rugby World Cup. And with that, we have come to the end of our broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sunday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. My name is Ashwin Berry. Don't end your day without us.